Hey, today I'm talking about 3 animated films featuring Marion Cotillard. And the names of those 3 films are The Little Prince, The Inventor, and Charlotte. First up is The Little Prince. This is a 2015 film based on the book of the same name, but they add a lot more to it. So the basic premise is there are 2 stories happening. The main story is of this little girl who lives alone with her mom, and her mom's too busy with work because she has to fund her schooling. So the daughter has to be on her own, but the mom gave her this big regimented schedule of how to be the best adult possible. But the little girl really just wants to learn how to be a kid and enjoy childhood and all that fun stuff. The second story is told via Jeff Bridges, and it's about this little prince who goes on this adventure. And it's so good. I really truly love this film. It's so magical and beautiful and wonderful. The animation is incredible. I really love too that they did 2 different styles of animation. There's the 3D animated stuff for the real world stuff, and then there's this, looks almost like paper mache stop motion for the storybook world. And that was such a brilliant idea, plus it was gorgeous and really just added this nice fun layer of wonder and mystery to the story. The idea itself was just brilliant. I loved the story within the story. The cast was just so perfect. Like the main little girl was great. The mom, played by Rachel McAdams, was awesome. Jeff Bridges, of course, was fantastic, and so on and so forth with the rest of the cast. There were so many metaphors and such great messaging that I really, really loved, and just so many layers upon layers. I feel like it would take a whole semester to try to dissect everything that's going on in this film, just because there's so many different threads and so many different things going on. So yeah, I feel like it would take multiple viewings just to kind of get a good sense of everything. So yeah, no, if you couldn't tell, I thoroughly enjoyed this film and would wholeheartedly recommend it. It's a beautifully told, wonderfully animated, all-around incredible film that I would definitely recommend. Next up is The Inventor. This is a 2023 film starring Stephen Fry and features Daisy Ridley as well. And the basic premise is this is inspired by the story of Da Vinci, and it's cute, classic animated stop motion film. And it's interesting. It was definitely cute. It had a nice charm to it. I liked what it was going for, of teaching us about Da Vinci, about what his last few years were like. I know a chunk of stuff about him, but this definitely taught me some things. And I liked the animation. I thought that was well done and fun. I enjoyed the characters, especially the king. Just the way he prances about was really neat. And then his sister, played by Daisy, was terrific. I mean, I'm biased towards Daisy, but she was great. Featuring the grave robbing was definitely a choice. There was just a lot more mutilating corpses than I was anticipating for a children's film. He definitely did it, and it was an important part of this time in his life. But this is a kid's film. It feels a little tonally out of place. Also, it was trying to be a musical, and it really needed to not. That was one too many things. This in general, it felt like it was just trying to be too much. It needed to narrow its focus, and it would have been a lot better. Especially the start. The start was kind of just all over the place. They were just jumping from one idea to the next, and I was just kind of lost, and I kind of just wanted to shut it off, but I was like, no. Give it a chance, wait for Daisy to show up. And then she did, and it was good. But really, they just didn't give us enough time to settle into the world before they just started throwing new things at us. So yeah, I did like the film. I thought it was fine. I put it middle of the road. Would I recommend it? Not really. If you really like some of the cast, maybe, or if you're a fan of this old school type of animation, sure, but just kind of keep your expectations more in check, because it's fine, it's interesting, but it's not the home run it was hoping to be. And lastly is Charlotte. This is a 2022 animated film about German Jewish artist Charlotte Solomon in her life in the south of France between 1941 and 1943. And I did not care for this movie. Firstly, that title, even just Googling the title to remind myself what was the artist's full name, that was a pain. Charlotte is just too generic of a title, so they needed a better title. Secondly, I was really not a fan of the animation style. It reminded me a lot of like Flash animated stuff that you'd find on the internet in like the mid 2000s. So it just looks so cheap and simple. Though they did add more frames than what you would see on the internet back in the day, but it still just looked like they did not spend any money on this. And I read one line that like people who got this film made was like, hey, we want to bring her drawings to life basically, but I don't think this movie looks anything like her art, though her art is within the film. I think they were hoping to do something more akin to that one Van Gogh movie that's all paintings. Like that movie is gorgeous and done so well. This is not. The performances were also just not good. Like I could not get emotionally connected to any of the characters. I really disliked how they presented the story, and I just didn't care about anyone or anything that was happening. I am intrigued to learn more about her, but like I'm just gonna read her Wikipedia page. Like this is just a mess of a film, which sucks because it's a tragic story about this talented artist who died quite young. So you want to tell a story that's gonna really champion them for what they did in their short lifespan, but it just does not work. It's not good. So I did not care for this movie and I would not recommend it. Alrighty, now for today's rankings. First up, we got The Little Prince sitting number 49 in the really like section. And then after that is The Inventor sitting number 149 in the liked section. And then bringing up the rear, rightfully so, is Charlotte sitting number 236 in the didn't like section. And this is a total of 249 old movies so far this year.